Hi everyone, and welcome back for this last video on LinkIt. In this one we will be constructing a quiz and be able to get you to a place where you'll be ready to give that quiz to your students and collect some meaningful data. In our previous lessons we've seen how to create items. In this one we are going to take those items and turn them into a brief quiz. So here we are at the home screen. So we've gone to reporting and we're going to bypass that one. We've talked enough about that. We've been in test design and we've been into item banks. This time we're going to go into test, but just to refresh your memory just a little bit, this is item banks where we created questions in order to put them into banks and then be able to select them later. Specifically, we looked a little bit at this one that I created for life science, and in this particular standard, which is for homeostasis, LS1-3. So we have 6 questions created in here, and I'm just going to double check because I want to make sure that these have all been assigned. One thing I can do from this screen in the item banks list is I can select all of these, and I can do a few different things, but most importantly I can assign tags and I can assign standards. So in these two things what I can do is I can put my topic in, I can put all other information that maybe is important to me about particular questions. So to add a tag to a particular question, and we've selected all of our questions in this because they're all grouped by the same thing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add a topic tag, and what I'm just going to start doing is start typing homeostasis, which is what they're all about, and you'll see a pop-up list starts to come out, and here we have homeostasis. We could go with that, but I'm just going to put homeostasis in here and add that as a tag to my list of tags here. So now if I have other banks, say as there's a standard where homeostasis is used in both of the standards, I can use this topic tag to just go to those. Even though they're in separate standards, they can now just select homeostasis type questions. Okay, so we're going to close this out. Right, and all my questions will now be marked with, will be tagged with with homeostasis as their topic. The other far more important thing, and these are things that are going to help you immensely when you go to look at data later. So if I'm going to have these questions aligned to a standard, I'm going to make sure that these standards are assigned. So we have pull down menus here, and I have to go in order. I have to go select the state, then the subject, then the grade. So I'm going to go to New Jersey. In New Jersey, you see that there's a whole host of different standard sets to choose from. We in our district use Science Arranged by Disciplinary Core Ideas as our standard set, and it curtails to NGSS and the New Jersey Science Learning Standards. We're doing life science, and life science in our district is in 9th grade. So I'm going to select 9th grade. And we're going to life science, high school life science. Right, if you look, there's all sorts of different ones. And I'm going to open that up a little bit wider. That's going to get me to the LS1s and then the individuals. And if we see here, HSLS13, as I said, was about homeostasis. So this is all of these, all questions will be tagged with this. So if I wanted to look at one standard in the reports, I could definitely just select this one standard, or I could see on a given test if I have 4 or 5 questions that are all based on this one standard, I can see what the composite score is for the students. So I'm going to go ahead and add that, and now all of these questions are marked with HSLS1-3. Can close this up. Okay. Now that we've completed the item bank, and I have 6 items in my item bank now, I'm going to go to making a test. So when we come into tests, we see that there are two windows here, and we see the test banks, and inside that test bank, I see HSLS1-3, which is the one we were just working on a second ago. All of your banks will in here. If I click this to remove the filter, we will see that there's other banks in here. So, but for now, I just want to see mine, so I'm just going to keep that clicked and make sure that I can only see mine. I'm going to open that, and I'm going to select this bank because this is the bank that I'm going to use to create this particular quiz. So what I'm going to do is add a new test. I'm going to go ahead and name this homeostasis quiz. Go ahead and create that. And I come to the test creator here. Now, this is much like what we did when we made the item banks. This is for our test instructions. But first thing I want to do is come up with my questions. So as you can see here, there are no items within my homeostasis quiz. The first thing I'm going to need to do is import some items. Now here we have another filter that allows us to select those questions, and this will become more important as there's more and more questions added to our item banks, which will happen over time. And you can filter by tags, you can filter by item criteria and passage criteria. So what I'm just going to do right now is look under some of the banks. I have my life science bank here that I can just go ahead and click on that because I know it's in my life science, and I can look at my item set, and there it's going to be my LS1-3. And then I'm going to search by that item, right? And now here I see all of my questions. Now this is just a short quiz. I have 6 questions in here, and I could ask all 6 questions if I wanted to, but that's going to probably take too much time. So I'm probably just going to select a few. I'll select this one. We'll select this one, and we'll select the one that we made earlier, which was when the body starts to lose heat. So we'll make it a 3-question quiz, maybe at the beginning of a class, making sure students understand before we move on. So now I'm going to add items to the test. I'm going to select this clone original items, just so I want the questions on my test to be exactly the way they are. Now they're adding the test. Items added successfully. Now I can go back to my actual tests. So as you can see here, my items on the test have been added. I'm going to return to tests. And you can see here in my homeostasis quiz, I have my 3 questions that I want to ask inside of my homeostasis test. The other thing you can do here is add instructions to your test. So these are the things that the students are going to see prior to taking the test. A little instruction screen is going to come up and show them particular things. And the great thing about this is it's editable just like the questions are. So I can, put in here, be sure to answer all questions. Some have more than one correct answer. Okay. Maybe I want to add other instructions, so I can go ahead and click on, making this a numbered list, right? And then I can have number 2. Maybe my second one is an image, which will open up an image browser, so you can go into your to your file folder and you can select particular items. So I'm just going to select that one, which is a logo for Aptitude ID, right? And I could put that in there if I wanted to as well, right? So now we have item number 2. Item number 3, maybe I want to put some kind of a table in there, and here I can select a table. I want it to be 2 rows and 2 columns, and I can click OK, and now I have that in there as well. So you can see you can very easy to use, and you can make your instructions however you want to make them. Total points available for this test is 3. So it's just like we said, it's a quick one, and there's some other options here that are a little more advanced. So we're going to go ahead and save the changes for our test. Right. And now we're at a point where we have our test properties successfully updated, and we are ready to give that test. Now, first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to preview the test online so I can see exactly what the student experience is going to be. Right. So, and here's some options that you have when moving in. So, auto advance the questions after the student's answers. Yeah, sure, let's do that. Must answer all questions. Yes, I definitely want them to answer all. I don't want to leave anything blank. Can pause test. That means they'll have a little pause button so that it stops their time. If you want to, say, stop the students from taking the test, they can all hit pause. Yeah, display question number is fine, right? You can see the other options that are here. But to me, the most important one here is the security. And there's a few things that you want to be able to do. You can verify students, which means the student has to put in an ID unique to them so that you know it's them that's taking the test. I'm going to shuffle the questions just in case two kids are sitting next to each other and they probably don't have the same question up at the same time. I know it's only a 3-question one, but when there's more questions, that will be a good security measure. Full screen browser mode is also very important. What it means is that students cannot click off of the browser while they're taking the test. They must take the test only within the browser that they're using. Not exactly sure what this one is. Sorry about that, but play with it and see how it works. And really, that's true for all the things in here. There's a whole bunch of different ways to give tests, and that's really one of the benefits of LinkIt is you're going to have a whole lot of different sort of stuff that you can put in here. You can make it so that the kids have a scientific calculator that is available to them. Or you can just make it a standard calculator, which is what they're allowed to use on the science test in New Jersey. So we're going to, when any test I give them, I'm probably going to put a standard calculator on so that I can make it just like it would be on the state test, and they can see how to use that. So we go ahead and click preview now and see what we've got. And you see it opens in a new tab. And here is my instructions, my gibberish instructions at the beginning, and a begin button for students to begin. Right. Now it's randomly selected the 3rd question, the one that we created. Some things in here. So usually if I had selected that I could end this. If I just felt like I didn't want to take it, I could just hit stop and get rid of the whole, just bail on the test. But I've made it so that students have to at least try and answer. There's also a way that students can highlight text so they can take things inside of their answer and see maybe, oh, that's important and that's important, and then they can do that. There's flags that they can put on certain things. They can go through here and they say, well, I know blood vessels don't dilate in the skin, so I'm just going to trash that answer because that can't be the right one. And sweat glands don't increase output when you're losing heat. So you're going to cross that one off, and you're going to select the 2 right answers. Right. So they have a whole bunch, and then they can pause the session as well, so they can save it and finish it later. But that's just if they are walking away, or maybe they run out of time and you want to let them take more time to do it in another day, that can be used. That can be used there. All right. So now moving through, right, click to the next question. Right, I'm just going to select anything here. Right, see what that does. And I'm just going to select anything here. Fine. And I'm going to submit my answers. And then the student would just log out. I do believe you can also make it so that they will see their score right away, or you can wait to show them the score when you show them the data analysis later. And that is pretty much how you give a quiz. In the live PD event, you'll be using the online testing tool, but that'll leave the live event. As part of the work in this module, you will have created some documents that will be useful in the live PD event as well. I hope this has been helpful, and I hope that you have a good live PD event. Thank you.